Well, for those of you that would have liked me to use my hollows and rounds and slave over cutting these two joints here, this is the rule joint, and I just happen to have a 5/8 inch round over and a 5/8 inch core box bit that I had from a number of years ago. Don't remember what I bought it for, but anyway, they happen to match, and that's what I need for this piece of scrap cherry here that's just a hair over 3/4 of an inch thick, which is what the tabletop is at the moment. So I'm going to put the hinges on here and see how it swings, and I think I'm going to use the router. It's a lot easier in this particular case. Well, here's the hinges that I purchased for the drop leaf, and I thought I'd give them a try out here on the sample pieces of scrap cherry that I had cut the joint with. So you can see here the hinge goes right in there, and it'll have to be cut deeper, and then the short side's here, and then the long side is over here. But I don't have a lot of room. The screw holes just meet just the other side of that line, so I gotta cut out that mortise now, and we'll give it a shot. Well, I'm cutting out the mortises now for the hinges. So the lines here are what I had marked out in the previous video, and then I just took a chisel and set the edges all the way around. And now I've got my router plane here, which does a nice job, although slow, of cutting out the material. Straight across, and you get a nice flat bottom there, and so I'll keep working that until it gets down. It's about 1/8 of an inch, not quite an eighth, so we'll check in when it starts to get close to fitting. Well, I put one of them together here, the hinge, as you saw me working on in the last video. And so the short end is here and the long end is on the part that drops down. So one of the reasons that I did it was to make sure that this that I calculated 5/8 of an inch overhang here was the correct amount, and that looks pretty good, as well as practice cutting the mortise depth. Now this mortise, I think, is just a hair too deep, because I can see the hinge here when it's hanging down here vertically. So a little more practice. I may do one more before I start on the good stuff. It's warm in here today, so I'm not wearing my apron. It's too hot for it, but I did add the second hinge to it here, and this fake top, I guess you'd call it, is clamped at 5/8 of an inch overhang here, and you can see it swings up flat, and we got to design the supports for here yet, but it goes up and down pretty well. It's reasonably straight, although it doesn't look like I have it perfectly straight across this edge here. It was binding a little bit on this end here, so I took a little off with the hand plane to compensate for it. But you can hear it rub a little bit. So I don't think the board is warped at all, but I may have to do that. So that's what I want to happen here is 5/8 of an inch overhang on all three sides, and we'll have to make sure that we get the hinges straight when we do it for the real deal. Well, I'm looking for material for the top, and for color and grain, you'd want them to come from the same boards. I've got these three old pieces of cherry here that have come from the same log. I'm pretty sure you can see the points are all the same at the end. And there are some defects in the boards. I need 7 1/4 inches wide, and this board, which is the best of the three of them, is just 1/16 of an inch over 7 1/4. So I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it once it's finished to be 7 1/4, but I think we might give it a try. And because of the three boards that I'm going to use are three triangles that I'm going to put together, I can avoid with the slope these defects that are in here and get three good pieces out of here if they're wide enough. So I think we're going to give that a shot and see what happens. Well, the good news is that the board's planed up real nice, and they've got some figure with them. You can see the quilting that there is in the cherry, and we have just enough width, and our length is on this side to make the boards fit. So we've got three good pieces here, and so the grain and color should match. So we got a good start to the making the top. Well, I've been working all day on trying to cut 30-degree angles here. So this template is finally 30 degrees and the correct size, and I used this plastic template to verify it. And I did use a shooting board then, or hand plane, to get it to the exact size. But anyway, then once I had this template, I was able to insert it here into the radial arm saw, and then use that as a guide to run the blade right along the edge, so that we would cut it exactly 30 degrees. So all you need to do is pull it out and then turn it over, and then to cut the other side so you get the 2/30s. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, I propped the MDF up on the top of the table here just to see how it would look, and the way we've got is the 5/8 inch overhang all the way around, and not much to look at from up on top here, but that's how it's going to look once it's they're glued together. Well, here's the three pieces that I did with the radial arm saw, and as you can see, two of them are together pretty well, but when I add the third, the gap is more than I would accept there. So what I've decided to do is cut the third piece by scribing the line to match it perfectly here, and cut it by hand with my large back saw. So we'll give this a try and see how close we can get it. Well, after hand cutting those two joints, that would be the one on the bottom here, this and this, they're taped together, and I would say they're pretty good. I'm going to build a jig of some type to hold it together and wedge it in for the glue up. So I think the joints will get a little tighter when it's squeezed together. But for now, I got to put a spline, so I got to cut the slots in the inside corners there. So I'm going to do that on the router. Well, it's glued up and wedged in its frame here, and it's not quite as good as I had hoped it would be. The gap here is, I don't think, acceptable. So we'll see once it dries. I could put in some stringing to help look like it was planned that way, or I could try and fill it. So we'll see once it dries.